Hello again. News that the Americans are sending their latest state of the art anti ballistic missile system to Israel, along with 100 soldiers to operate it, has been interpreted in some quarters as indicative of the United States' cast iron support for Israel at this crucial juncture in the nation's history. This is certainly one way of viewing what is happening in the Middle East. If so, it would be a heartwarming demonstration of support for a long-time ally. But of course, that isn't really what's going on at all. The other possibility might be that America is perfectly aware that their own country might one day be forced to rely upon the THAAD system, an acronym for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. The THAAD system is currently deployed in Hawaii, protect against possible missiles from North Korea, and it has been suggested that it might be handy too in Taiwan to protect that country from attack by the People's Liberation Army. But there is a serious problem here. Many of the tests of THAAD in the 1990s were failures, and it has never been used in action. It's only ever been tested against American operated missiles fired at it, so when everybody knows what's going on. The old Patriot anti missile system used during the Gulf War was the wonder of the age, supposedly, until it was actually used in action, when it became at once apparent that it let an awful lot of missiles through. It would be unfortunate indeed if THAAD were to turn out to be a flop when used in real combat, especially if it were trying to shoot down, say, nuclear missiles from North Korea or Iran. What could possibly be better than a chance to try it out in somebody else's country? Somewhere which is not American territory and where it won't really matter if missiles do get through. Setting it up in Israel so that it can try and shoot down missiles launched from Iran is the best thing which could possibly happen if anybody wants to see how it works in action. During the 1930s, Germany under Hitler faced a similar situation. They were producing new aeroplanes and tanks and also devising new theories of warfare to avoid becoming bogged down in the deadlock of the trenches, as had happened to Germany during the First World War. General Guderian's book, Achtung Panzer, published in 1937, set out the theory of blitzkrieg, and at the same time, in that very year, the Junkers Ju-87, more commonly known as the Stuka dive bomber, was tested in action. German aircraft took part in the Spanish Civil War that year on the side of General Franco against the Republicans. This proved the perfect training ground to test out the Stuka and see how it would perform in a real war. Spain was a wonderful opportunity for the German armed forces to try out the weapons and tactics which they would later use in the Second World War. This is precisely what America is now doing in Israel, and it is a real reason that they are sending their troops to that country to set up and operate a THAAD battery. If it works effectively there, then they will be able to have more confidence in the installation in Hawaii, for instance. Of course, China and Russia are also watching keenly, because what is now happening between Israel and Iran are some of the largest coordinated launches of ballistic missiles ever seen. All the world is now waiting to see how well the Israelis will be able to destroy targets in Iran and whether or not the Russian anti-ballistic missile system will be any good at stopping them. More to the point, we will see how effectively they and the Americans will be able to counter the inevitable barrage of missiles which Iran will launch in retaliation. There has not been such a golden opportunity before for the world's great powers to observe modern warfare of this kind using the latest missiles and anti-missile systems. Which is, as I say, why the Americans are really keen to have boots on the ground in Israel. It would be worth losing a few of their men just to see if Thad really is all it's cracked up to be.